One of the things that works real well this time of year in pre-spawn and throughout the spawn and even post-spawn is a soft plastic, or in this case silicone jerkbait. We're going to be using the 6-inch hog shad in an alewife color, and I'm going to show you how to rig it. Right here I've got a St. Croix medium action 6.5 foot rod, and I rig it with 12-pound line. And the line that I'm using is Seaguar fluorocarbon. The one thing that I really like to do is to rig it with this belly weighted hook by Gamakatsu. It's a 16th ounce belly weighted hook right there, and it gives it just a little bit of a keel to keep that bait riding true. As it's falling, it'll kind of just shimmy on down just like this, as opposed to doing the roll. Now there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Sometimes if I'm fishing really shallow, I'll go ahead and use just a regular wide gap hook like this without the belly weight on it. But I'm going to try to get it down a little bit deeper. These fish are turned on right now. The water's approaching 56 degrees, and this allows me to fish the bait fast but still keep it down in the water column. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the hook point and create myself a little channel for that bait to run through. The best way to do that, rig this, is to create that channel and put the hook, or rather tie the hook after you've rigged the bait. Because you've got that big piece of metal there, that big piece of lead. If I would rig this the traditional way, I'd end up tearing the nose of the bait, and that's going to make this bait throw off the hook a lot sooner than you would had you done it this way. So what I do is go through the nose right there and just make a little channel. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to put the eye of the hook through that bottom hole and come out the nose like that. And then I'm going to just put the hook right back in. Notice that I pinch the bait up like this before I do it. This keeps me from stretching the bait out. I mean, otherwise it'll be pulling on this bend right here. I'm going to go back, make sure it comes right through the top of the bait, and then it comes straight through. I'm going to line it up. This is important, that you want that bait to be sitting straight right on that hook to get the proper action. And then I'll take the point of that hook and just dig it right back down into the bait, just like that. And then I'll go ahead and tie. There's a lot of different knots that people use. I'm using the uni knot right here. I just wrap it 4 times, tie it on down, and use my scissor teeth. I think I got to go to the dentist. I've been scissor teething for too many years. Okay, now we're ready to give it a go. I want to look at it in the water there. You see it? I don't know if we can see it here. But you see how that bait stays upright as I pull it? I mean, I can even slow, steady reel this bait and twitch it as I'm reeling it and get it to look like a real bait fish. It's a beautiful bait. Now when I'm fishing it, you see, like I said earlier, I'm gonna water's a little warm. I'm gonna give it some real erratic action. I'm gonna really keep that rod moving. I'm gonna fish it just like you would a hard jerk bait, keeping that rod tip down and twitching it, and then pausing it and letting it fall. Letting it die. Let it sink. A lot of these fish will pick it up as it's sinking. That bait will sink to the bottom, and you want to watch you can see my line on the water. A lot of times I'll use my line like that as a strike indicator. As it's sinking, you watch the line slowly sink down. If you see that line abruptly stop as it's sinking, I would reel up immediately and see if a fish has grabbed it, because like I said, a lot of those bites come on the fall. The other thing about this bait is almost all your bites are going to come after you pause. So you're going to jerk the bait, vary your cadence on as far as the twitching of the bait, and then between pauses, you want to watch that line on the water. If that jumps real quick or does something funny, starts going side to side, be ready to reel up and set the hook. One thing about this type of fishing is people tend to set the hook a little too early. You need to, as soon as you detect a bite, you need to reel up that slack, let the rod load, point your rod tip down, and follow through. Otherwise, that fish, what he'll do is he'll grab that bait, and a lot of times he'll be following, and once he grabs it, he continues towards your boat, and you'll see that bite. You'll detect a strike, but you'll have so much line in between you and the fish, slack line, that when you just go to set the hook, all you're doing is pulling that bait hard enough to come out of the fish's mouth, the hook and the bait, and not enough to get that hook to actually go into the fish's mouth. So keep that in mind. When you get a bite on a soft plastic, particularly a soft plastic jerkbait like this, make sure that you reel up the slack line. Let your rod load before you set the hook. Reel down, follow through with a nice long sweeping hook set.